Oh, early 90s anime. Sometimes there's nothing like it. Some of them really stand out, some of them kind of fall by the wayside. This one's kind of done both. I mean, back in the early days of anime kind of hitting America, there was a deluge of several series, and some of them got followings, some of them didn't. This one did, but at this point, it's pretty much all but forgotten, and I don't see anyone ever reference or even talk about it anymore. Back like early days, it wouldn't be uncommon to see some cosplay or references to it, but yeah, it seems to have just evaporated. Well, I'm going to talk about it. Now, this series is technically two different OVA series. Now, the first one is 4 episodes long, the second one is 3 episodes long, but they are longer episodes. So they work out to roughly about the same length. The first series aired in 1991, the second one in 1995. And they cover the first 5 volumes of the manga, of a 40-volume manga. So, but this is pretty much all there is, a total of 7 episodes. Okay, so, thoughts and opinions. So first off, you may have noticed that I haven't said the title on this one. Now, the Japanese title is Sanzanais. I don't think I've ever actually heard how this is supposed to be said in America. I might have, but I've always said it's 3 by 3 eyes, but it could also be 3x 3 eyes, 3 times 3 eyes. I'm really not sure what the intention was there. And looking online gave me really nothing for the American pronunciation. Everything just refers to the Japanese one, which they do say in the series for the previews of Sanzanais. Now, I watched this subbed because generally I prefer that. Every once in a while, if the dub is really good, I'll go for it. When I first picked this one up, years ago, and I mean years ago, I kicked on the dub just to give it a watch. It wasn't more than 10 minutes before that was kicked over to subtitles because, wow, early 90s dubbing was a thing. This was, no. Just once the main girl started speaking is immediately when I kicked it over. I would not have been able to deal with her voice. But otherwise, I did find the series enjoyable. It was short, but it did leave me wondering what happened next. Maybe I'm curious enough to maybe look up the manga online. I'm not curious enough to buy the manga. I'm a little wondering why they never continued on, or if it just wasn't that popular. But if the manga ran for 40 volumes, you figure it would have had a decent enough following in and of itself. But so the series follows our main character Yakumo, who's a high school student that's pretty much out on his own since his father has been out doing archaeology in China. Well, as he's late for work, one day he plows into a strangely dressed girl who's running through the streets, who then claims to be searching for him because she knows his grandfather. Was it father or grandfather? I think I'm not sure actually which one it was off the top of my head. It's only brought up there at the beginning. It might have been grandfather. I digress. Because he has been killed, and the grandfather promised her that Yakumo would help make her human. And he's just like, what? And so he's now got this strange girl following him around, excited that he's going to help make her human. And shortly thereafter, a demon rampages through the city that he accidentally unleashed from her cane thing. And he ends up pretty much getting killed. But in order to save him, she essentially pulls his soul into her body, turning him into essentially someone who cannot die as long as she's still alive. But he is now also no longer human, technically. has become what's called a Wu, or like an undead. The girl, Pi, herself seems to have two personalities. One that's a chipper, excitable girl that's like the pinnacle of innocence, and another much more serious and harsh personality that comes out whenever she's in danger. Her race is referred to as the Sanjian Ukor, I think. But they just refer to her as Sanjian, kind of based on the three eyes. She's like a three-eyed holy demon is what she's supposed to be. So, off they go, trying to find the statue that will supposedly help make her human, while the ill demonic forces that are trying to resurrect the fallen Demon King are trying to stop them. The Demon of Kaiyan Wan. And it goes from there of who is Kaiyan Wan in relation to Pi. Her alternate personality seems to know a lot more than she's letting on, while her main one is conveniently forgotten a lot of things. The second series, the American one divides it up into calling the first season Immortals, and the second season Legend of the Divine Demon. The Japanese one just calls the first one Sansan Eyes and doesn't really give it a subtitle, and then the second one it does translate to Legend of the Divine Demon. Then Yakumo and Pi have become separated, and 4 years have passed. Then he's now gone from a immortal meat shield to now having mastered some spiritualism. He can summon some minor demons and has learned a lot of martial arts, so now he is actually competent and capable. Pi seems to have forgotten everything that happened and is now living a normal life. But demons are after her, trying to keep her from re-meeting him and from continuing her quest to become human. So, and it picks up from there. I'm not going to go into too much spoilers of what's going on with that, but the series it's worth watching. It's not long. It's not a great series, but there's enough there that does keep you interested. And the folklore, and the world building that they do for this is interesting. I did enjoy seeing what was going on, and I wouldn't have minded if it continued for a while. I would have watched a couple full seasons of this just to keep it going. The lore mythology is neat. But, alas, this is all there is, and I don't hear anyone talking about Sansan Eyes anymore, so it's likely all there's gonna be. I think the series has been largely untouched for a long time. For a rating on this one, I'll give it a 5 MacGuffins. It's okay. It's not a great series by any means, largely just because of it's short and sweet, but it doesn't really go anywhere because it doesn't finish. Let's see. The manga series. Wow, they didn't even fully translate the manga for the American version. It got up to volume 8 before being discontinued back in 2004. The comic itself ran from 1987 to 2002, so that is a very long run. So I imagined it had to have been popular to some degree, so I don't know why it didn't catch on. But, yeah, I think the series has largely been untouched from what I'm seeing here. I guess they did do a follow-up manga that did end in 2016, and, actually there's a couple follow-up manga volumes that, did just conclude. The one is still actually ongoing, so the series is still alive, I guess, in Japan. Okay, I did not know that. So, there's an original 40-volume manga, then there's another 3, and now an ongoing one. So, apparently it's alive and well. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, give it a shot. Maybe find some of the manga translated online. Anyway, I think that's all I got on this one. I'll give the anime 5 MacGuffins. It had potential, but was cut short in its prime. Have a good day, everybody.